So the next one is LEOSA. What is LEOSA? You know what LEOSA is?
Yeah, it's guns and stuff.
Guns? You don't like guns?
I do, but
you don't seem like a gun nut like me.
No.
Okay.
Is there any other like gun nut like you? And the answer is profoundly no, everybody.
So I mean, I want to grab my like Geisley, you know. Can you reach behind and grab my Geisley?
You got to.
What I talk about?
You got to point to which one that is.
That one right there. So,
hang on, good muscle discipline.
Yeah. So as I talk about LEOSA, I want to have my Geisley. Now this is a Geisley Super Duty. Was this a 10.3 or 10.5 inch barrel, and has an EOTech on it. It's just a beautiful gun. It has this is a pretty kitted out gun. So this is also an SBR, right? A little shorty. So as I talk about LEOSA, I'm talking about this. LEOSA is the Law Enforcement Officer Safety Act passed by George Bush and after 9/11, right?
W.
And
best prize
Zachary wants to win this damn thing. Yeah, that thing's kitted out. I also have a surefire suppressor for it too. Can you CCW the SBR? The answer is actually yes.
Who is that person?
I know, Whiskey Bandiero. This is like a long lost cousin that I don't know.
Whiskey Bandiero.
Okay, so let's go to the answer. The question first of all is, hey, I am a special police officer in North Carolina. Okay. I am sworn, and I worked for Allied Universal Special Police. So he's basically, can I carry under LEOSA? So LEOSA says basically a couple things here. If you are a recognized peace officer, in the state, in other words, you can make an arrest per statute. We are not talking about citizens' arrest. That's not obviously covered, right? Mm-hmm. It's, hey, you peace officer, who's defined as arson investigator, police officer, university officer, whatever it is, you can arrest people for crimes committed in your presence. You can arrest them for felonies, and so forth. And if you're included in that, that's the first step.
In a sworn capacity.
You have to be a sworn capacity, or I mean, really just make arrests. Yeah, that's right. Okay. You are going to be sworn if you can make arrests. The next thing that LEOSA says that you have to be sworn. You also cannot be under the influence of alcohol. We're out. Actually, I think it kind of means DUI.
Are out.
Yeah, you are out, literally. You have to have the power. Not only can you arrest, but you can make the powers arrest. What's the other thing in here? Oh, police officer, blah, blah, blah. Oh, you have to work for a political subdivision. That's going to be the issue here. So you have to work for the government.
Okay.
I don't know what it means to be a special police officer in North Carolina. And the reason why is some states allow constables, not like Texas constables, but a constable is a person who serves process. Like, for example, Massachusetts, a citizen can be a constable, and it's kind of like a sworn position, but you basically are sworn. You have to apply the law, and you can actually serve subpoenas on people you can charge money, but you're not a peace officer, but you're sworn.
Interesting.
You also can't make arrests. So can you make an arrest? And also, are you working for a political subdivision? You don't have to make money. And that's why the reserves are covered by LEOSA.
Oh, okay.
So you have to be sworn. You have to be able to make arrests. You have to work for a political subdivision. I don't know the answer here. You can't be under the influence. You have to meet your agency qualifications, and you have to have ID.
How many? The qualification is how many?
It doesn't. It's completely up to the agency. So the states usually tell the agencies what they have to do. Most states are 1 call a year. That covers the chief. But agencies like you qualify 4 times a year?
As
current peace officer.
Yes.
I'm sorry, police patrol.
Correct. Yes.
You probably do less because you're in a different position.
No, 4 times a year.
Okay. So it's 4 times a year. But now here's what's weird about it. For those who care. If your agency, if Nevada Post says 1 time a year, which they do, and your agency says 4 times a year, who do you have to comply with? What do you have to comply with? 1 or 4 under LEOSA?
Under LEOSA? Gosh, I guess the 4.
The 4.
Yeah.
That's right. So that's the problem with agencies that make things tougher.
Yeah.
If you have a guy who is little going on a lot of FMLA or just missing quals, he can't carry the LEOSA. Now, what is LEOSA? LEOSA is the authority to carry a concealed firearm outside the state.
Right.
So if you have an officer in Nevada that goes to California, New York, DC, Maryland, New Jersey, some of the most anti-gun places on earth, Hawaii, you love Hawaii. If you go to Hawaii on vacation, you are allowed to carry your gun there, even if Hawaii law says you can't, because LEOSA supersedes state law. That's the supremacy clause, right? And that's what we're talking about here. So that's why LEOSA is so important. So whether or not this person can carry depends on those factors. Now, I'll send this guy a link to this. I also have a LEOSA webinar, and I talk about these cases in depth for like an hour because I love LEOSA. I carry under LEOSA because I'm a retiree, and there you go. That's it. That's all. That's a couple cases.
I like it. Yeah.
Unless anybody. Oh, actually, Amanda. Look, Amanda's my backup unit here. So North Carolina law provides for the commissioning of special police officers, right? That's what he's saying. These are private police officers who work for private police and security agencies and have additional training and authority, including the ability to make arrests. Their arrest powers are granted by the state AG. I don't think they qualify because they don't work for a political subdivision.
No,
they are working
because the power comes from
the power. They got the arrest powers, but they don't have the political subdivision.
Oh wow, you gotta have both.
I think you have to have both.
Interesting.
So you're close, but no cigar. I get it. It's kind of like the constables. Maybe they can make arrests too, but they're not working for the government. They're working for themselves. All right. They're like mercenaries for hire.
Yeah.
They're like people with Geisleys, and they're there to take out the zombies and stuff like that.
There you go.
All right. Look, I think we did a good job. I think we answered a lot of questions. I love this webinar. This is one of my favorites, by the way, because we had a lot of questions.
That was great. I love the questions that come.
Yeah.
But this is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Retired, let's see. Thomas says, retired people from my department are only required to qualify once a year for CW, attached to the retirement ID and badge, active qualify 6 times a year.
You guys must have a big budget.
So here it is. So when it comes to retirees, they don't have to qualify per the agency. There is no agency.
Right.
They have to qualify per state law.
There you go.
So, which is usually one time a year. Yeah. Willie says, honorably discharged. You do if you're retired. I'm gonna answer. I know these questions. So I know this answer. So if you are a retiree, you have to have 10 years in the aggregate of law enforcement service. It includes reserve.
Oh, okay.
So if you're reserved for 10 years, you actually have to carry for life. Afterwards.
Awesome. I like it.
But you have to qual every year, and or you can basically not. You don't have to have 10 years if you had a medical disability from the job, but you have to pass probation.
Who determines what the qual is?
The state.
The state.
The state. Well, the state does, but like, okay, so I qual in Washington. Okay, Washington State, and they are, but some states have their, like, they leave it up to the agency. Like you have your own qual. So there might be some qual shopping, because as a retiree, you don't have to go to your old agency. You can go to a new agency. So my old agency I qualled out of retired out of is in Nevada.
Okay.
But I live in Washington. I qual under Washington, but I can actually come back to Nevada if I wanted to. And actually I might do this because I'm here so much, and just qual at a local agency.
Okay.
Either way, I'm good.
And they set that.
Yeah, exactly. Either way, I can qual in my original home state, or I can qual in my new state.